call Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom Labakoyim. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai means in the name of Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son who was sent to deliver the children of Israel from their sins. Ba'Shem HaKadosh means in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is the volume of the book, the Spirit of Truth. Shalom Labakoyim means peace to the elect. That's the men, women, and children who were slated to be delivered in these last days. All right. We want to go into the life and times of King Saul. Because Saul represents a specific house or a specific fraction, mainly the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. And then you have the house of David, which represents the elect, the 144,000, the believers, the ones that are going to seek out righteousness, the ones that are going to be humble and take heed to instruction, right? And inevitably, the house of David will be as David, and just like the house of Saul will be as Saul, okay? And we could take a look. We always talk about the house of David. We always talk about the attributes of King David, the sure mercies of David. But let's take a look real quick in the attributes of what happened with the life and times of King Saul. So I have this here. This is from my Bible. It's a study Bible. It's a King James Nelson study Bible, leatherback, It gives a lot of details. It goes into the history. It has commentary already built in it. So it's good to use, you chew the meat and spit the bones. So this is what it gives a summary of Saul, right? It says Saul was the first king of Israel, right? Chapter 9, verse 2, all the way up to 31 and 13. First Chronicles 5 and 10, all the way up to 26. He had several admirable qualities suitable for a king of Israel during such turbulent times. First, he was tall, attractive man. Second, he was from the tribe of Benjamin, situated on the border of Ephraim and Judah. And so had credibility with both the northern and southern tribes. Third, he was a capable military leader, as his early victories demonstrate, right? But it was soon apparent that Saul had a rebellious nature and would not share his power and popularity, right? And going back to the attributes and the characteristics, you see, Saul started off as an ideal character, right? In which we're going to go into in chapter 9 and following out and taking heed. But then later on, what does it say? He became a rebellion. What did it say? Where's it at? Saul had a rebellious nature and would not share his power and popularity, right? And that's the same thing when you have individuals that come into the truth. They start off right. They start off doing all the right things and having all the characteristics of being a man of the Lord, right? But when they get in power, when they start getting more knowledge and more understanding of the scriptures, they become niggards, man, okay? All of a sudden, you can't teach them. All of a sudden, you can't show them nothing. You see? Now, it says what? He failed to wait for Samuel at Gilgal, which we're going to get these stories, and made several excuses because they all tie in together. See, the Most High is bad, man. All right? And what happens is that you'll be put in a certain circumstance as when you're a younger man in the truth, when you're first coming in, and you handle it the right way because you're in that fear, right? Just like Saul, okay? Matter of fact, let's go to the 9th chapter, 1 Samuel 9. Let's see what Saul did, right? Now see what happened. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zerah, the son of Zerar, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man and a godly. And there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders and upward, He was higher than any of the people, right? So, like I said, this man had the ideal character. He had he was like a created player, if you will. You know how when you playing those different video games or whatever the case is, and you do a created player, you set out all the attributes on 99 and make him with the highest stature. You making this, a figure, an ideal figure, meaning this is the example that you want for the rest of the people. All right. And this is what Saul was at first. He had all the attributes. It says, and he passed through Mount Ephraim and passed through the land of Shalishah, but they found them not. Meaning they was looking for what? I'm sorry, did I skip a part? Yeah, I did. Verse 3, let me start at verse 2 again. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man, a godly, and there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders and upward was he higher than any of the people. And the asses of Kish, Salakia, Satan, and the asses of Kish, Saul's father, was lost. And Kish said to Saul his son, take now one of the servants with thee, and arise, go seek the asses, meaning what? The donkeys, man, because it was his cattle. It's basically his money. Some of his money got lost. So he sent forth his son to go look for his money, pretty much. And he passed through Mount Ephraim and passed through the land of Shalishah, but they found them not. Then they passed through the land of Shalom, and there they were not. And he passed through the land of the Benjamites, but they found them not. And when they were come to the land of Zuph, Saul said to his servant that was with him, come and let us return, lest my father leave caring for the asses and take thought for us. Right? And he said unto him, behold, now there is in the city a man of the Most High, and he is an honorable man. All that he saith cometh surely to pass. Now let us go thither, peradventure he can show us our way that we should go. Right? So, and Saul, they're looking for Samuel, all right, as we know when you read the story. And Samuel's name was already renowned. For one, he was a prophet or a seer at the time. For two, he had just delivered the children of Israel from the Philistines by making a sacrifice of an unblemished lamb. When you go back to chapter 7, and all the children of Israel congregated to the high priest. Everybody knew who the high priest was. So they knew that they weren't too far from him. And they knew, look, we got to go up to get some form of counsel and advice because we need to get my father's asses. All right? It says, just like now, man, or just like when you, like, again, the main reason I'm bringing this out is a comparison because you have certain individuals, when they first start off, they have all the attributes. They're coming to camp on time. They're checking in. They're being brotherly, and they know they got to basically adhere to a man and go to a certain individual for advice and for guidance, just like Saul. You see, he knew that. And the servant answered Saul again and said, behold, I have here at hand the fourth part of a shekel of silver that I will give to the man, to the Most High, to tell us our way. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spake, come and let us go to the seer, for he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer, right? And that's the tradition of Israel. If you needed advice, you went to see the prophet. You didn't. Nowadays, everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has the right answer. But in time past, men knew, no, there were specific men you had to go seek counsel from. Okay? And Saul knew that. It says, then said Saul to his servant, well said, come, let us go. So they went unto the city where the man of the Most High was, right? And as they went up the hill to the city, they found young maidens going out to draw water and said unto them, is the seer here? And they answered them and said, he is. Behold, he is before you. Make haste now, for he came today to the city, for there is a sacrifice of the people today in the high place. As soon as ye be come into the city, ye shall straightway find him before he go up to the high place to eat. For the people will not eat until he come, because he doeth bless the sacrifice, and afterwards they eat that he bidden. Now therefore get you up, for about this time you shall find him. Right. Now let's keep this in mind. At this time, in the humility of Saul, everyone is telling him what? That he has to wait for Samuel. And inevitably, because Saul, being in the state that he was in, would wait for Samuel. And then it says here, now the Lord had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the land of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cries come up to me, right? Because they begged Samuel for a king. And when Samuel saw the Lord Yahweh said unto him, behold, the man whom I spake to thee of, right? It says, behold, the man whom I spake to thee of, this same shall reign over my people. Then Saul drew near Samuel into the gate and said, tell me, I pray thee, meaning he's begging Samuel, where the seer house is. And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me unto the high place, for ye shall eat with me today. See, that was a big thing back then, especially to sit up and with the high priest. Everybody looked up to the high priest. He made the sacrifices for the people. So because Samuel sat and waited, brought his fourth of a shekel of silver, he did all the right things. He got to sit in a high seat. Okay? And then, eventually he gets his answers. He gets his father's asses, and Saul then is exalted amongst the people. And then later on, Saul, what did he start to do? He started to walk amongst the prophets when you read the story. Now, let's jump forward. Let's go back. Let's hit 9, push up to 13. Now, check this out. Now, this is 1 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 1. Saul reigned 1 year when he had reigned 2 years over Israel. Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in Mount Bethel. Right. So this is the second year this is the second year of the reign of King Saul in Israel. So at this point in time, he's well known, and he's made king. He's exalted. He's getting all the riches. He's getting all the horses. All the women are throwing the ass at him. So he's in his glory, right? So let's see what Saul does in his glory, right? Verse 8, and he tarried 7 days according to the time, right? Because look, keep in mind, the children of Israel were fighting up against the Philistines, and they were getting the one over on the Hebrews, on the Israelites. But the Israelites, they were in a low decree at the time. So what do? They're depending on their king, and they're depending on the prophet to get them out of the jam. So let's see what good old Saul does, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 7. And some of the Hebrews went over to Jordan, the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered before him. Right. So in times past, Samuel would lead the children of Israel from amongst the Philistines and over battle through what? The proper sacrifice, the unblemished lamb. You can read that in 1 Samuel, the 7th chapter. And that's had always been our tradition, to overcome our enemies. And that's why Yahweh Shai is that unblemished lamb now, to be our sacrifice, to be delivered from our enemies. All right. Out of the horn of David, though, as is read in Luke, the 1st chapter, in about 68 to 72. Okay. That's our tradition. So Saul, knowing that at the time, what does he do? And Saul said, bring hither a burnt offering to me and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. See, he's in his glory. This is his first year as king. I'm sorry, second year as king. He thinks he can actually make the offering unto the Lord. And that's a lot, man, that's niggas in this truth, man. That's how you identify a nigga in this truth. He came in all humble, paid his tithes, and he was adherent. He was quiet. He was he played the back. He did all the right things. But now he know a couple of scriptures, and you can't tell this nigga nothing. Now he over you. Hey man, yo, you identify that attribute in a man. That is a man of the house of Saul. This nigga Saul thought himself to bring the offering, like as he played the high priest. Listen, check this out. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of the offering, the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. The Most High set him up, man. See, that's what happens, man. The Most High will set you up, put you in a predicament to see what you're gonna do. You think Samuel wasn't gonna show up to the time when he said he was gonna show? But because of Saul's impatience, and him being presumptuous, all right, it says this. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within thy days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto Yahweh. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. Right. The key thing he said there is, I forced myself. Scriptures tell you, force not the course of the river. And the scriptures also speak about what? A man. The scriptures also talk about a presumptuous man. Deuteronomy 17:12. And the man that would do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before Yahweh thy gates, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. So being a presumptuous is not only a attribute of the house of Saul, all right, but it is a sin unto death, right? And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously, right? Because the Most High will make an example out of you, man. And the scriptures tell you that when you went to that man, who was he? Verse 9, and thou shalt come to the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge thou shalt be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment, right? And just like this in today's time, we have priests and we have judges on earth right now to direct us. And you have camp leaders, you have camp heads that's supposed to be your judges and your priests who you're supposed to get counsel from. But then you have men that want to do what the hell they want to do, but then look at you like you crazy and try to blame it on you. Just like Saul. That's what basically he's doing. All right? It's like, man, you ain't show up in time, man. I had to do what I had to do. And in a nigga's mind, that's justification to be wicked. Okay? And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Yahweh thy power, which he commanded thee. For now would Yahweh have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. And that's why the scriptures tell you time and chance happen to every man. But see, guys get so caught up within their own vision, if you will, within their own counsel of their own mind, they get blinded on the bigger picture. You want to blame you. Dude's crazy, man. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh have sought him a man after his own heart. Beautiful. That's the house of David, man. A man that's after the Most High's own heart. Meaning what? He sought the house of David seeks out the counsel of the Most High's mind, as opposed to the house of Saul, who seeks out their own mind, man. Goes based upon their own feelings. All right? And I'll just say this real quick. And it wasn't necessarily about the sacrifice. Why? Because let me just get the scripture real quick. Psalms 50, and I'll read verse Verse 7. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against thee. I am the Most High, even thy power. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings that have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he goats out of thy folds. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know the fowls of the mountains and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto the Most High thanksgiving and pay thy vows unto the Most High. And that's another thing. All right. Hold up. Whoa. Satan. Right? So even too, we can continue on in the life and times of King Saul. It says what? It was soon apparent that Saul had a rebellious nature and would not share his power and popularity. He failed to wait for Samuel at Gilgal and made several excuses, just like a nigga, right? Saul then neglected the needs of his own men and swore a foolish oath that almost cost the life of his son Jonathan, right? Because basically, to sum it all up, when you read that story, Saul made all the people to starve just so he can, win the favor of the Most High, right? So he can get victory over the Philistines. But he was willing to basically have his men starve. But, he told the whole people that they'd be cursed if they ate anything. And there was some honey dripping, and basically Jonathan grabbed the honey and tried to eat it. Well, he did eat it, And then they made their own sacrifice, man. But the Most High had mercy on Jonathan. All right. It says, finally, he failed to kill the Amalekites. Now, this is where we get to the well-known story. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15, right? And we can start from the top. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now, therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. What? Through Samuel. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telium, and 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Right? Now let's jump down. That's what he told them to do, right? And Saul said to the Kenites, go depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them, for ye show kindness to all the children of Israel. Oh boy. When they came up from Egypt, so the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until the comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag the king, the Amalekites alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. Right? Now let's check it out. Let's jump down. Verse 12. And when Samuel rose and early to meet, right? Because we know, you basically know the story. He kept it's going to explain. Salakia. Let me just get to it. First Samuel 15 and 12. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set up a place and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahweh, I have performed and commanded of the Lord. Right? And we see what Saul said. Blessed be thou. He come with the blessing, saluting Samuel. Look, as if he did the right thing. I performed and commanded of the commandment of the Lord. Look, I did what you told me to do. Right? Look at this nigga, man. And Samuel said, what meaneth this bleating of the sheep in my ears? Like, hold up, man, I heard too many sheep. And the lowing of the oxen, which I hear. He's like, what's all this noise, man? What's all this stuff I hear? And Saul, he's lying directly to this man's face. Remember, this is the same man that we was looking for his father's sheep from the beginning. He was willing to do whatever was necessary to get the proper advice when he was at a lower state. But this nigga became king and went buck wild. You see, a lot of men, and that's the thing that kills me about Israel in these times, days and time, because Everybody's a fucking king now. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Okay, this king right here, this king right here. I'm not talking about brothers or how we call each other kings, because we are the next kings. Nevertheless, I'm talking about the everyday sagging pants, future listen, pill popping, dope sniffing nigga, man. Them niggas ain't kings. They don't got a king mentality. Like, just to keep it all the way real, man. And everybody ain't a fucking king. All right? And this is why. Because when you put certain people in a place of power, the nigga just spills out of them. All right? And like they say, you know, there's a saying in the world, money will corrupt people. No, that's not the case. People understand that when your mind is already corrupt and you get money, it just shows your true character. And that's what happens, man. And being that this word and this truth is basically spiritual money, the people start hoarding up the riches, and then they just become niggards. They just become niggas. Right? This nigga Saul lying straight to Samuel's face, like he's stupid or something. They have brought them from the Amalekites for the people, spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh. And then he lies and says something completely different. This is a nigga right here, man. And brothers know what I'm talking about, man. You know? When you know the nigga lying, but you still sitting here and just telling. Now you sitting right in my face, just feeding me this bullshit. Right? It says to sacrifice unto Lila. And this is his excuse. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy power. And I read that scripture. I should have read it after, but it's all good. That the Most High don't want your sacrifice. All right? The Most High wants, that's what he says. Here it goes. It says, then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what Yahweh hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. Right? And Samuel said, when thou wast little in thy own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And Yahweh anointed thee king over Israel? And Yahweh sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore, then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil and didst evil in the sight of Yahweh. Right? And Saul said to Samuel, yeah, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. Did you hear this nigga? And have gone that way which Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag the king Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalek. And in Saul's mind, he's doing the right thing. That's the same example as a nigga. He's in the truth. No, he thinks he's in the truth because he knows scriptures. He thinks he's in the truth because he's doing things halfway right. That's the scariest place you can be. To think you in the truth and you so-called doing all the right things, but you're far from understanding. And that's Saul, man. This dude's far from understanding, man. That's the house of Saul. Of people that are far from understanding. They're caught in the belly of their own mind. And when you talk to them, they'll tell you, yeah, I'm doing my videos. You know, I pay my tithes. You know, and in their mind, they're doing all the right things. But the people took the spoiled sheep, and then now he wants to blame it on the people. And sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh thy power and Gilgal. And Samuel said, hath the Lord a great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. Right? See, there's certain brothers out there that may not necessarily do as much videos, if you will, or they may not pay, they may not have the funds to pay tithes, so they may not do all those certain things, but when you instruct them to do things, they're doing it. You see? There's a difference, man. All right? And there's men that are taking heed to counsel, man. There's a difference, man. Okay? As in obeying the voice of Yahweh, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken rather than the fats of rams. For rebellion is at the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, man. And idolatry is the beginning of what? Spiritual fornication. And you basically, the idol is you. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king. And that's the point right there, man. See, you guys out there that first came into the truth, you know, you was humble, you was quiet, you paid your tithes, you did everything that you was supposed to do, you took advice, you know. You just look like a guy that would be fit, a fitted stone for the building. But then throughout time, you became slothful in the deeds in which you were told, you know, and with you became slothful in advice. Okay, you became a filthy stone, as the scriptures tell you. Right? Why? Because you got a little knowledge now. You got the juice now. You know? You got all the answers. You don't need advice no more. You know? And that's why the Most High is removing you. All right? Call Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Labaquarium. Peace to the elect. Shalom.